I was getting short of breath, and I was having, my heart was going up to 200, beats per minute, and I was having conniptions because this wasn't me. I've been athletic, I've been active, and I've exercised all the time. So for me, this was really problematic. If I was in my mid-70s, and all of a sudden, bingo, I was diagnosed with AFib.
Atrial fibrillation is a very common disorder, affecting well over 6 million Americans, and its prevalence increases with each decade of life. So as you get older, there's a higher chance or incidence of developing atrial fibrillation. To really understand what atrial fibrillation is, we do need to understand how the heart works. So the heart has a top called the atrium, and the bottom part is called the ventricle, and the ventricle is the squeezing chamber of the heart. So when you feel your heart beating, your heart rate is the bottom chamber squeezing. Mechanically, the top part's job, the atrium, is to fill the bottom, prime the pump. So the heart really is a two-stroke engine. It fills and then squeezes and pushes to the body and the lungs, fills and squeezes the body and lungs. The heart has an electrical system to coordinate all that heart function. And so the heart has a normal pacemaker in the top right chamber that's sensitive to adrenaline that you're born with. It speeds up, it slows down, top part beats, and then there's one wire that connects top and bottom. So then the heart goes top, bottom, nice and slow and regular, very coordinated. Atrial fibrillation is a very rapid rhythm where the top chamber of the heart beats 300, 400 times a minute, quivering, not squeezing, so very, very quickly. Now, you don't typically feel that, but the wire lets every third, fifth, 10th beat through, and the bottom part bounces around irregularly and often quite fast.
I was put in touch with Dr. Stephen Howe, and Stephen performed my first ablation, and we all thought that might take, but it didn't, and so I had a second one, and it worked fabulously well.
The issue with an ablation is that we don't want to do too much and cause a complication. We often want to get it just right, but if we have to err one way or the other, sometimes if you do too little, you may have to touch it up. So we can do a procedure under general anesthesia where we access veins in the legs, push wires up into the heart, and then under X-ray and ultrasound guidance, go from the top right chamber to the top left chamber. And then we can map using a special GPS-like technology, the shape of the left atrium and where those pulmonary veins are. And we can also follow those connections and identify those muscle fibers. So if we could electrically disconnect those noisy areas, we can often make the atrial fibrillation go away.
When I was getting prepped for my ablation, there was a nurse who was preparing me and kind of wheeled me into the OR. I believe her name was Lauren. And so I never forgot that nurse, Lauren. She was so comforting. She was so pleasant. She was so accommodating. She was so caring. She was, for me, the face of Sutter Health. One person can make a huge difference.
Here at Sutter Health, we take care of 1 out of every 100 Americans. We believe it's our responsibility to advance the care of the cardiovascular patient, to take those moonshots.
I have had no symptoms or side effects since my ablation. And now I've resumed my activities. I walk 7 miles a day. I exercise every day of the year. And I love my life, and I'm in love with Sutter Health.